Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's Friday night. I'm back refreshed. I know that there was no podcast this week. It's because I was out of the country and we haven't had a chance to record it. So it will be back next week at the international break. But in terms of Friday night pint, we are back. We're a couple down. So Lawless has come back. Hello, mate.
Yeah, you're right, mate. Good to be back. Good to be back on the show.
I know. And as always, Ryan's here. Yeah. How's your week been, boys?
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, quiet. Just the same as every other week, really. I ain't done much apart from, we went out on Monday night to Carlton Cole and Julian Dick's night at the O2, which was good.
Yeah, that was mad that day, honestly. I ended up going to Manchester and then back, and I had to go straight back out to that one. But
you had a busy day.
Yeah, it was a busy day, and it turned out to all be all for nothing anyway. Well, not the
What was it? What did you do?
No, we went and filmed something with Man United TV.
Manchester United? What, the official channel?
The official channel. It was like a top 4 video, right? Top 4 race video. So me, Robbie, and Tobes went down to film this debate with Wes Brown and Stuart Atwell, and was all happy with it, all good. He posts like a picture to say he posted this picture to go like teaser thing, and the Man United fans just went mental. They were fuming. They were like, okay, that's embarrassing working with him, and we shouldn't be in the top 4 race. We should be winning the league. How dare we make content about top 4? And
that's where they are.
Yeah, that's the reality. They're so entitled, a lot of them Man United fans.
Well, whatever. So that video's
your mate Goldbridge was one of the main ones. You know, he was one of the main culprits. Leading the charge.
Who was?
Shit, your mate Goldbridge.
No, that tit. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was telling everyone, we'll talk about this a bit later on. What you done this week, right? What was this night like?
It was a good night. I had a good laugh. Had a few beers, caught up with a couple of mates I ain't seen for ages. It was, listen, a Julian Dick's night and a Carlton Cole night. You never think it'd be boring. It wasn't because of them. The only point, it was just the way it was run. It was the host. He was talking to Carlton Cole for most of the night about Chelsea and
Villa
and Liverpool and Villa. And I'm like, mate, you're at a West Ham night. You got a room full of West Ham fans here. Let's talk West Ham. And I remember going up to Julian Dick's during the interval, and I just looked at him and I went, "You're bored, ain't you?" He went, "Yeah." He went, "There's just no banter, like there's just nothing." And I said, because he's talking to you about like Liverpool, and for instance, he started talking about Paolo Di Canio, the host, and he asked Carlton Cole what it was like to play with him at Charlton. You've got Julian Dick sitting next to him that played with him at West Ham, and he didn't even really talk to him about Di Canio. I was like, "What's going on here?"
The funny thing is, he was asking if they played together at West Ham.
Yeah, he went to Carlton Cole and Julian Dick. Was there an overlap between you and your career? Julian Dick's retired in '99. Carlton Cole didn't sign for us until 2006.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
The thing is with these things, I know that the guy that run it. I met him a little while ago, and he's the same people that run the Masters football, which has always been well run. You know, it's a big event, the Masters. You know what I mean? So, like when I said, we was gonna, they invited us to this night and then give us some tickets to give away and all that, and a lot of our sort of subscribers and stuff who tuned in last week, quite a few of them went. They won tickets to go, but they're always looking for like feedback. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why, when they do these events, why they bother hiring these people that obviously, like, from what I've heard, I wasn't here, so I can't talk from experience, but what I've heard, geezer knew nothing, done no research, just turned up on a night, tried to wing it, knew more about Villa and, Charlton and all of that sort of thing. Didn't really talk to Dixie. Why don't you hire us?
It's not even hiring us, mate. It's hiring someone that knows football and knows West Ham. Like, if you're doing a West Ham night, hire someone to do it that knows West Ham. Like, they've got a Liverpool night coming up soon, and they've got John Barnes and Ian Rush there. two proper Liverpool legends, then he'd probably talk to John Barnes about Charlton and Ian Rush about fucking Juventus or something like that. It was just mental. Like, and as I said, I spoke to the geezer after, and I'll give him a little bit of constructive criticism and feedback and that, and he was fine with it. He said it's good to hear. The bloke that was presenting it, his name was what's his name? I can't even.
Because he's the commentator for the Masters, isn't he? Someone said he's doing the commentary on it.
Yeah. I mean, he even turned around and said that Julian Dix was managing the West Ham team in the Masters. Dixie said to me at half time, he said, no one's asked me, so I ain't got a fucking clue. But it was just like, it was nice to be there. It was good to have a few drinks on a Monday night. We had a few good drinks after in the pub opposite. It was a good laugh.
Yeah, I think it was West Ham fans getting together can never be a bad thing, So that's
I was a bit worried at first, though, because when we turned up, there was about 4 people there, and I thought, oh, what's going on here? And then literally, like, everyone just started coming in. But, yeah, someone just said it there. Look, Tony Cowell. He'd be brilliant at something like that. Yeah. Someone that's done it before and knows these players. I mean, I've never seen Julian Dix look so bored. I went to a Julian Dix night the other week in Basildon and with Marky Ward. And it was only in, like, a little hall. But the atmosphere in that room was so good because it was just like Marky Ward, whatever you think of him, he knows West Ham, so he asked the right questions. And they didn't even do a Q&A. I think Stevie Taylor was the only one that got answered the question. That's because he had to shout it out. He asked Dixie about his penalties. He went, come on, Dixie, let's talk a little bit about West Ham.
Yeah, that was a moment. It's just one of those asking questions like, what was it like to play for Liverpool? Oh, what was it like to play for a great club, the greatest club probably in the world? What was that like? So I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous, to be quite honest with you. I should have got up and slung him out, and then everyone would have like applauded like in a film.
Yeah, just go take the mic off him and started asking our own questions.
I hope everyone's doing well in the comment section down below. Get ready to get involved in these questions. But the first one I've got is I've been scanning through the week and all that sort of thing. And the first thing that's really popped out at me, apart from the World Cup draw, which we will talk about a little bit later, but the thing that's really popped out at me this week, and I feel like these things are sort of slipping under the radar a little bit. Because of like the Super League and all of that sort of stuff, and whatever happens at Chelsea and all that sort of stuff, the stuff that's really in the news. But from next season, now they had a vote this season, and they voted against it. But from next season, like during COVID times, the Premier League will be allowed to use 5 substitutes. So every club will be allowed to use 5 substitutes in it. Now, what I said about this is my opinion anyway, is that I feel this is starting to kill competition because this is benefit the big clubs. But what I did read, obviously, is the clubs had to vote for this. So, like, it was something that the clubs are. But why all of a sudden this? Why do they keep on fucking with this beautiful game and just putting controversies in it?
Well, as you said, I mean, it's to benefit the bigger teams. I mean, I tweeted out yesterday saying that if they're going to do something like this, then the extra 2 subs should be under 23 homegrown players that are given a chance to be involved in a matchday squad and get a chance in the first team. I mean, look at saying that though, City in their last few games, they've had a bench worth over 250 million. They ain't made a sub.
Yeah.
So it's going to benefit the bigger teams. I mean, I said about the under 23s, but I think it's Brentford, if I'm right in saying, they ain't even got an academy, that blows my mind. Why a club like that haven't got an academy, like bringing through youth. I mean, West Ham, we've grown up knowing about our academy of football, but yeah, it's mental. And look, as you said, it's a disadvantage for the teams that can't go out and spend the big money, but City and Liverpool and Chelsea and Newcastle and teams like that now, they're just going to fill their bench with world-class talent, and it's just going to, the lower teams are just not going to get a sniff. And for me, I think maybe one of the reasons why Jurgen Klopp and Guardiola and that are pushing for this is because teams like West Ham, Leicester are now trying to break that top 6 and upset it.
The funny thing is, Leeds were one of the clubs that could have benefited from that this season because of their injuries dropping down. But yeah, I think what you said was spot on about the youth, because I can see that they're trying to look at it in a way of, okay, English clubs will benefit in Europe because of rotating the sides, and they'll be able to perform better in Europe. And maybe that's what they've tried. That's how they've pitched it. So it's like to the West Hams and Leicesters, well, listen, if we're successful, we keep having more places in Europe. But the reality is the competitiveness of the league will decrease massively. Can you ever see us using 5 subs?
We don't even make one. We just about make one sometimes.
That's what I mean. Like, so yeah.
I mean, what do they do now? Do they grow the squads? Do you make it a 30-man squad now? What is it? A 25-man squad, isn't it?
25 at the minute, yeah.
Yeah. So it's. I mean, the idea of. I mean, I'm all for the idea of under 23s and homegrown talents being involved, because that just makes perfect sense to benefit not only West Ham, or whoever, whatever club, but the nations as well, like England and Scotland and Wales, and I think that would be brilliant for English football, British football.
It's one of them 6 of one, half a dozen the other. And the thing that probably I'm more annoyed about is that they're always making these rules up. Like they just change the rules willy-nilly. But I don't ever see them consulting fans about it. It's the fans that have to watch the game and all of that sort of thing. It's the fans, like, bear in mind, this is a Premier League product, yeah? They're not voting about it in, League One, League Two, whatever. This is Premier League. So everything that they do in the Premier League and it was voted for in the Premier League is there as a business. And they never ask the fans, do you want to see 5 substitutes? I don't want to see 5 substitutes. That's half of the team. That's literally half of the fucking team you can change. You pick your 11 and you can change half of a team, during 90 minutes. I think that's fucking dire. I think it's terrible. It's one of them things. There's no sort of jeopardy in, making the subs now. You used to get that point. You make 3 subs, and if you make the third sub and you get your injury, that's tough shit. That's all going to go out the window because they're going to have enough subs. They're always going to save one just in case. And I think it only benefits the likes of Liverpool, City. City have got £200 million worth of talent sitting on their bench. They want to give as many of them a game as possible because they want to get more of that talent in, I think it's fucking stupid.
They've been doing it in the cups, though, haven't they? They have been doing the 5 subs in like the FA Cup.
They do it in Europe as well, don't they?
But why? Yeah. Why? It doesn't. It's not needed.
Do you think there should be like a cut-off time? It's got to be done before a certain time, like before the 75th minute or something. And then after that, you can't make them extra 2 subs.
I would be up for 5 subs, right? If 2 of them, if they had one as a sort of an emergency sub, just in case something drastic happens after you've made 3 subs.
Well, we sort of had that this season, didn't we? With
concussion sub, yeah. And one if like it goes into, I don't know, extra time. I think
it's all trial and error. I mean, do you remember
is it going to be the same thing? Sorry, Raj. Where you can't go 1-1-1-1 sub. You have to make like 2 and like 1.
Yes, there's a max of 3 stoppages.
Yeah, 3. That's it. 3. So that's going to be the same.
Yeah,
in the league.
I was going to say, it's all trial and error in it. Remember when we trialled having the 4th officials behind the goal or the extra linesman, and they trialled that out and it didn't work and they scrapped it. So we'll just have to see how it goes.
This game's 160 fucking years old. I think we've done the trial and error we need to be doing. Why they keep them piss balling around with the rules every fucking other year? They piss ball around with the rules and make all these rules every fucking year just so it seems like they fucking justify the salaries of these people that are making these decisions, because the game is perfect. It's the beautiful game. It doesn't need these constant changing of rules. Like, I'm still confused about handball. Last year it was, going towards the defender. This year it's going towards the attacker. I don't know what the fuck's going on half the time. You know what I mean? They change the rules through the season. If they find something ain't working, they go, let's revert back to. How the fuck do they keep on do this, man? Honestly, I just can't think past that. They just want to benefit these top teams. They just want this money to keep on rolling around in football, man. They,
what I don't understand, if it's a vote, why? If the rest of the teams outnumber the top six, right? Like big six, whatever the fuck they want to call themselves. Obviously, the majority have voted for this, even though they outnumber these teams that are going to benefit. So I'd be very interested to understand their just.
You gone off?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you then.
Yeah, you broke up right at the last second. We missed it.
No,
sentence.
No, just saying I would be interested to hear their justification for those clubs that aren't in the top six, big six, whatever they want to call it, for why they've voted for it. Because obviously they, like I said, they outnumber them. So what's the reasoning for a West Ham? Why would a West Ham vote for that? Why would a Brentford?
Well, somebody said Moisey wanted it. But I don't know, like, what's next? I don't know. What, you can field one team one half, one team the other half? You know what I mean? We keep them going the way it is. They're just changing everything. Everything.
They're always just trying to tweak something, in they every season. I mean, VAR was a massive one. And we're still making mistakes with VAR now. No one really sort of understands exactly what like VAR is sometimes. Like that,
we've had VAR in for 3-4 years now.
I know, but VAR can be good. But it's just getting it right, and they're just every season it seems to be getting worse.
And now Mike Dean's going to be one of the retiring to be a VAR official, isn't it? So that's going to be fun in games. Although he won't get the headlines this time.
The geezer's a fucking joke. That's what. Just take quickly. I forgot about this. Have any of you been April Fooled?
You know what? I got one, and it was West Ham news site, and it said that there's a pre-agreement with Jesse Lingard in place and someone else, and I was like,
Areola, wasn't it?
Yeah, Areola. And I got that, and I got all excited, and I read the comments. People going like, "Slating." I went, "What is it?" I was like, "Oh fuck!" And I just stayed off social media all day.
Yeah, that's a bit of an odd one, because that could well be true.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not nothing that Anne Landlish, is it? To be fair,
the thing is, with April Fools, so social media has really killed April Fools, because everything that goes on there now, it's a joke. Like, everyone tries to make something up, but yeah, it's just like, remember back in the old days, like before social media, when people, like, remember years ago when they done that. What was that one? The spaghetti tree, when pasta grows on trees.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Fucking hell, that's mad."
What was the one in the paper that time with Paul Ince? I'm sure it was
with the Predators.
Predator shin pads, wasn't it, or something ridiculous like something stupid like that, or I don't know. But
yeah, I think it's got to be something silly in it. It's got to be something funny. Like, if it's just something like
the problem is with it, like it's got to be. I think the perfect April Fool's joke has got to be this, right? It's got to be something where it's unlikely, but it could happen. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, like when they said they bought that pickle beer, yeah. And you think, like, fuck off. You know what I mean?
Well,
like, and then you think,
sent me one today. It was Doner Kebab cider.
Yeah. Things like that. It's unlikely, and you have to think twice about it. But what ruins it about April Fool now for me is the fact that it's, as soon as you log onto social media in the morning, there's 6-7 dozen companies all trying to convince you that there's something, and then all of a sudden you look at them and you think, oh yeah. When you see like 7-8 of them at the same time, you start to think.
I think Walker's done one today that I wish they would do. They said they was bringing out the perfect size crisp, a big crisp to fit into a sandwich. And
yeah.
I was thinking to myself, that's perfect. They should do that. They'd sell loads.
That's a good, Sometimes they use that to see the actual interaction. I think for a load of people, like, they'll jump on it, but
Chris just said it there. It actually was Doner Kebab vodka. I don't know why I said cider. It was vodka that got sent to me.
Do you remember the one where West Ham were going to be sponsored by Durex? I remember that, and I really believed it. And I was like, "What? We're going to fucking just because of Golden Sullivan years ago."
Yeah. I think that was really Harry Redknapp days. That was Jiffy Condoms. I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't even think that was a fucking April Fool's.
No, I don't think it was either. I think that was an actual rumor. Mark, Mrs. and son got me today. They bought me a donut, right? Bought me a pack of donuts, like in a packet. Yeah. Picked one up, started eating it. Went, "Do you want a donut?" I went, "Yeah." Got it. Bit straight into it, and they'd injected it with sriracha sauce. and it was just like sriracha sauce instead of like the jam inside.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, it made me.
Classic.
I was running around the house nearly heaving because you know when you just don't expect it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Shock, innit?
Yeah,
And
it's
you
just a
wanna do
shock.
this-
Like like the thing is, it was so convincing because it come out of a packet out of a shop. So I thought, like this, you know, I wasn't even thinking about the day or nothing like that. But I got done. And you know what else I done myself up in Portugal? I went to Portugal, been to the Algarve for a few days. We had a lovely time away with my other half. But I done myself up, right? I bought these packs of cigarettes, which I thought were cigarettes. Come back, and they're like, have I got them in my pocket? Yeah. I've got 400 of these fucking things. Like little mini fucking cigars. I got 400 of them to smoke.
Mini minder.
Yeah, it's like they got a filter in them and all of that sort of thing, but 400 of them to smoke. Fucking
They
disgusting.
look like them dog chew things, like you give dogs
Oh.
to eat. That's what they look like.
Yeah.
Or
But
whenever
anyway.
anyone asks you for a fag, just hand them out.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll hand them out in the packets.
Like when you used to give everyone the Kents.
Yeah, the Kent. Yeah. I had fucking hundreds, thousands of them, I think.
But
Cigarillos. That's what they are.
Have you guys noticed that there's been a lot of transfer news on social media, and it's like it's been March, and already now we're getting all the West Ham monitoring this. We're a fan of this player, and I'm thinking, oh, this summer's going to be mental. We're going to have to put up with all the rumours galore, mate.
Mate, I'll be honest with you. The rumours, and we will be doing transfer shows come summer. But the rumours do my head in because March, nobody knows what's going on, right? And how many times did you hear all of these in the knows and all of that sort of thing talking about who we're going to sign in January? We got to the end of January and it's like, fuck all, nothing.
Yeah.
So like they was talking from about September about transfers who we're gonna sign in January, and we signed no one.
thing is, as well, is that it's been a slow couple of weeks of international football, so content's been a bit quiet. So people are just jumping on it, and
Just have a break, mate. Just have a break. You know what I mean?
I've enjoyed having a nice little rest. It's been nice. We had a lot going on, so it was nice to have a couple of weeks or a week and a half off, wherever it was. But yeah, we're back Sunday for fucking Everton, then Thursday Lyon, then Sunday, then Thursday, then Sunday. Then it's just non-stop.
But it doesn't stop now. From now, it doesn't stop. This is it. This is the absolute last.
I said to my mate, I said to my mate in work at Sports Chelsea, like obviously they're in competition, European competition every season. I said, how the fuck do you do it, man? I'm fucked. You've been doing it for years. We've only been doing it for one season. I want to give up. I want to go back to being that shitty old West Ham who survived on the last day. I enjoyed that more. Less travelling. Only joking. I wouldn't swap this season for anything, mate. It's been a joy.
Yeah. Just hope we can have a good last push. I think this has come at the right time, this international break.
Well,
I just wish.
massive, I know we're going to talk about it in a little while, but massive boost to Sufal and Bowen being back in training today. Massive.
That's next on the list. We've got some super chats. Matt Rainey, 449. Happy Friday and love and guidance from me and the boy. Let's get one over. Fat Frank Sunday played 51, 111, drew 13, lost 27.
What is that? His record?
That's our Everton. That's our record against Everton. I think we've got a really poor record against Everton.
Not recently, though.
I think Everton's best away wins, like against a certain team, is West Ham. I think they got.
I reckon a lot of that came during the Lukaku years. I reckon.
Yeah.
No. We never. We
like
always recently, yeah. There's been a few, but
I'd say in the last.
Recently, we've only beat them at home when we beat them 3-0 in the last game of the season or something a few years ago. But we've got more wins up at Goodison than we have at home in the last 5-6 years. It's mad, and we never used to win at Goodison.
Nah.
Well, their away record is shocking this season, so hopefully that works in our favour.
Yeah, but every team that needs, well, it used to be like that. West Ham ain't as generous anymore as we used to be. But you always know that Everton need a win. We'll be confident, and then it'll be like a 3-0 Everton or something like that. So
that's why I'm nervous about it.
We'll preview that a little bit later. There is a preview coming tomorrow. So let Keith 79 mod. I've got caught out years ago over a translation machine on one of the breakfast shows. Now it's widely available on Google.
They done Ray Parlour on TalkSport as well this morning. They rung him up because he does the Friday show with Alan Brazil, doesn't he? And he's like a co-host. And they rung him up and told him that he had to do the show on his own, and he was panicking. He was going, I don't know what to
do. he seems like a panicker as well, Ray.
Who's going to help me? I'll tell you what, there was a video of them two last week. I was in stitches. They were both pissed. And Alan Brazil could hardly keep his head up. And Parlour was just away. I'd love to go on the piss with them two. I reckon they're brilliant.
Yeah, but they do. They don't drink a lot.
I know, mate. That Alan Brazil ain't got no limits. He just downs wine for fun, and Parlour does the shots. He's always doing his shots.
Need to watch out at their ages.
Yeah, especially fucking his weight as well, man. He looks like a pimple.
I think he had a health scare the other year as well. I think he's just at that stage of life now where he just thinks, "Fuck it, if I'm going out, drinking, trying."
Pete Gads. Talking about the substitutes, every team going to start off in a 3-5-2 with 5 offensive midfielders, and if they go up, they'll start subbing them on for defensive midfielders. Lots of small changes results in large change, says Troge. That was the Premier League blocking, Dan, says B-Rat Pack. Will it mean we'll have to fill the bench with more keepers? Yeah, we've had a lot of keepers on the bench. We might have to. I mean, we are losing some players. I don't know what we're going to do if the fucking squads go up. I'll tell you, mate, we can barely fill benches now.
We might not even have 5 players, let alone 5 subs.
No, you know what I mean? Yeah, but they have more power over the smaller clubs, Dan. They use their layers to influence the small clubs. Good evening, lads. Really helped me through this week. Felt like shit with tonsillitis. I've been watching your videos, helping me keep you in good spirits. Cheers, lads. No worries, Wagsy. If no one knows who voted for it, then how do we know it's not faked by FIFA? Paul Changes, of course, it benefits the bigger clubs. Look at the result against Kidderminster, but that's the only time we have ever used them. Chris Mercer says, money talks now. The D. McCauley says, Philip D. McCauley says, the beautiful game is like a natural beauty, and all the rules that they make are like bad Botox and plastic surgery jobs. I agree with that.
I mean, we're sitting here now talking about having 5 subs. You go back to the 1960s and that, they never even have They never even used to have substitutes.
You could have one if there was a concussion, I think.
That's why Jimmy Greaves never got a World Cup winners medal, because he couldn't. He obviously dropped, and they didn't have a bench back then.
Yeah, they couldn't sub him in. You know, that was a decision like that between Hurst and Greaves. Greaves got injured. Hurst wasn't playing up until that time, and he had to make this call on World Cup final day. Is it going to be Greaves, who's one of the greatest fucking goal scorers in history, or is it going to be Hurst? And he picked Hurst, and well, he picked the right one.
Yeah, as they say. So I see Terry said, Dan always confident. Dan Lawless always confident when it's the big 16s, but he's scared of Everton. That's years of supporting West Ham. I always feel nervous over the teams that you think we should beat.
They're a bogey team, aren't they, Everton? They always have been for all the years I've been supporting West Ham.
I know they're going to be scrapping for their lives, mate, but I can't see us losing that one.
It's just what makes me nervous, you know, and it's just if we played Watford and teams like that, you know, because there's so many years, it's the banana skin, isn't it, teams? And
but we have lost to like Brentford at home, Leeds.
Yeah,
we've lost to them teams. So, but if we can't beat Everton, I know they had a little good result against Newcastle before, but away from home, they've been piss poor.
That Newcastle result as well, they needed it to like an extra 16 minutes after the bloody time to just.
Yeah. I think if I'm right in saying, I think they've got Burnley coming up as well, which is a massive,
Burnley midweek,
huge
games.
Huge, and they've got Liverpool as well, the Merseyside derby. So they really need a win on Sunday. But I'm with you. I can see us. I don't think it'll be easy. I think it'll be a tight game, but I could see us just having enough to beat Everton on Sunday.
Yeah, they just don't seem to show up away from home. So I just think, you know, that Lyon game, not the Lyon game, sorry, the Sevilla game, the atmosphere we created in there, I think was a big part of why we won. And if we can find a way to do that every game, or at least replicate, half of that.
Don't even try.
You know,
Don't even try. I went to Tottenham and people couldn't be asked to sing after they'd fucking sung their hearts out on a Thursday. There is no way they're going to get up for that one against Everton.
Well, you don't know. We've had a little break. People have missed West Ham. I certainly have.
I tell you what, if Bowen's, you know, even on the bench, I think it will give the crowd a lift. I think it'll give everyone a lift if they see him. If he's in the starting lineup, people will be buzzing.
Do you know what though? Someone says, yeah, we could be in 8th by the time Everton comes around. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but if we win, we go up. But there's
still games to play, man. There's still games to play. Don't worry about where we're going to be on the 31st game of the season. Worry about where we are on the 38th game of the season. You know what I mean? Like,
that time of the season now, where if you start losing a couple of games, you start dropping down, and people say, "Oh, it's exciting time of the season," and we're still involved in it. So I'm just enjoying it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be good, man. It's going to be a good end to the season. And then, don't get me wrong, them Lyon games are massive.
Yeah, I'll be honest, mate. Listen, I'd take a loss against Everton to beat Lyon. I would. I'm at that stage now where I'm thinking the Europa League is our focus.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. It's one of those. It's so funny with that Barcelona situation. I mean, people are already saying like West Ham automatically we're going to play Barcelona, we're going to get knocked out. Barcelona might not get through, we might not get through. But
look, people. This is the thing about football, right? People talk about football as if the result is already predetermined, as if it's like a matter of fact. It's like a mathematical equation. Like the answer is there. Like Messi, sorry, it's not even Messi now. Sorry, Aubameyang and blah blah blah. You know, Trump, you know, Dawson and Diop and all that. It's not. That is not football. That is not how football is.
Isn't it? It's like they're playing top trumps, isn't it?
It is not how football is played. Like football is played on a patch of grass. You know, look at Sevilla. Sevilla are flying in La Liga. One of the greatest UEFA Cup teams of all time. We lost the first game and we brought them back here and we beat them. Like, you know, the game of football is not as straightforward as anyone again, Everton on paper, we should smash Everton all over the shop. Fucking, we could probably lose 2-0. You know what I mean? Like that's the way football is. It's not, and that's what I'm saying. When and you normally find it when other fans are threatened by opposition, like they think, "Fucking hell!" Like I couldn't bear them. You know, I've done it. I've done it when Tottenham were playing in the Champions League. I remember me and Ryan having conversations, thinking, I'm saying, they better not beat these cunts tonight. And he's going to me, nah, don't worry, they won't. And then and vice versa. Like, and us in the Champions League in a semi-final when we was playing Ajax, I hope these cunts don't beat these tonight. I was like, nah, they ain't got no chance of beating them, and they do, and they beat them. You know what I mean? Like,
but my mate Toes was like, he was saying to me on League Judges, like, you know, West Ham aren't winning the Europa League because you're not beating Sevilla, you're not knocking out Sevilla. They're going to beat you. They're second in La Liga. They're flying. You're not beating them. And it was just beautiful when it happened. So I love it. Let them keep doing it. Because I tell you what.
And then what did they say? Yeah, but you won't get through the next one anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Then,
that's all they say.
That's it. The next one. Because now it's Barca. If you get Barca, Barca's going to be here. If we beat Barca, a lot of Spurs fans are going to be shitting themselves.
Anyway. Let's talk about a bit of positive news. It looks like Bowen. There was talk about him. It might be a bit touch and go for him. Which is again, I go back to a couple of weeks ago about are we being lied to by the board, but it looks like Eamons Soufal are going to be ready for the Everton game, which is a huge boost.
Yeah, Moisey said that they're back. They've been back training on grass for the last week. It's just the match fitness. But listen, Bowen and Soufal has played a lot of football this season. The fitness should be there, and they're only going to get match fitness by playing. So I'd like to see him on the bench. It'd be, as Dan said, it'd be a massive boost to see. I'll be honest, I'm not too worried about Soufal coming back so soon because I think Ben Johnson does a great job there. But Bowen is going to be a massive, especially for that Lyon game. I felt sorry for him in missing out on that Seville night because he's worked hard all season and he's missed the last 5 games and 2 of them were against Seville. So it's it'd be good to have him back involved. And
what about the England call-up, mate?
Yeah, the England call. I mean, it might have been a little blessing in disguise that he didn't get that England call up, like being injured, because he might have gone away and picked up an injury with him. So I want to see him play for England. You know, there's 3 months now until the next friendly internationals before Gareth Southgate, you know, picks his squad. You know, there's going to be a couple over the summer, and then Bowen's got enough games to work his way into that England squad.
Yeah,
I
but it's
think,
getting to the
I
point,
think
mate.
missing out on the England call up and missing out on the Sevilla game will light a fire under him. I think he's going to come back and really want to hit the ground running, and hopefully, you know, they don't rush.
Yeah, someone done a list. I think I can't remember what website it was, but it was all the England midfielders, and Bowen is top for goals and assists out of all of them.
Still, even
Yeah,
though he's
but
been
it
injured for
doesn't
about a
sit.
month.
I don't think that seems to matter at the minute. He seems like he's just picking who he likes.
Yeah, I mean the last couple of England games. I mean, I don't know why Pickford was in goal. You know, he's obviously going to be in the squad, so give the others a chance. I don't get that, but you know, it's good to see, especially the Crystal Palace lads get a run out. You know, 2 future internationals there. They look comfortable. Ollie Watkins, it was Watkins, wasn't it? Ollie Watkins, you know, scored a goal, you know, on his first start for England, which was massive. You know, so there's a bright future for England. It's got some good, talented young players there. Is Southgate the right man to take them forward? Look, I think he's got one more tournament in him. He's got to win this World Cup to stay on. That's how big it is now. Because if he doesn't win the World Cup, he's got to go.
Wow. So you wouldn't say if he did get to a World Cup final, do you think like if he got to a World Cup, didn't win it?
No, because I think he's got to the semi-finals of the World Cup. He's got to the final of the Euros, and then if he gets to the final of the next World Cup and loses it, there's got to be someone else to take us forward, because there's obviously, I mean, we should have won the World Cup. We should have beat Croatia. We should have won the Euros. We should have beat Italy, but Southgate's tactics, you know, cost us in both games. So they're the biggest games you can play in. But listen, Southgate's done a fantastic job, and I've always been a fan of his, that he brings through players. It don't matter who you play for. It don't matter if you play in the chat. He's even put championship players into the squad sometimes. So I'm all for that.
It's interesting that he seems to get more out of certain players than their club. You know, clubs like Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw are terrible for Man United, like comical, but they're good for England.
I'll be honest. I think the abuse that Maguire got the other night was disgusting from England.
Yeah,
fans.
I agree with that.
And to me, they're not England fans, because what he's done for England, whatever his Man United form is, that's different. For England, he's been immense in both the last 2 tournaments, especially. And he was in team of the Euros, team of the World Cup, the clean sheets, and he scores goals for England. I think it's for anyone to boo someone that wears your shirt, your national shirt. I don't agree with that, and I think that was a disgrace to fans.
It's counterproductive. It's just stupid. If you want your team to win, booing them before they kick a ball is not smart. I've always maintained this. I've never West Ham players like Arnautovic never booed him. I remember people had the ump because I said we shouldn't be booing Sacco, you know, because at the same time it's whatever you think of them personally, when they're playing, you want them to go on the pitch and do the best they can to help your team win. And booing them is just going to give you the opposite.
I just find it odd. Like it's not like I can understand if there's an incident or some mitigating circumstances. For instance, if he'd gone and kicked his cat or something like that, you know what I mean? Like something ridiculous like that. And I can understand people getting upset with him for that, right? But he hasn't played for England for 3 months. When's the last friendlies? December? Something like that, wasn't it? October? Right? He hasn't played. Yeah, all right. He's not having great form with Man United, but there was times when fucking Michael Owen weren't having great form with Newcastle or Man United or whatever. And he was getting picked for England. Shearer was out the team at times when he was getting picked for England. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see it's literally just, as I say, these selfish fuckers that want to see who they want to see. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to see Maguire. So what?
The thing is, mate, I've always
managers
been
picked him. He's playing.
I've always been like this since a kid. I've always supported England. I love watching England. I've never judged a player on who they play for. If Harry Kane's playing for England, he's an England player. I don't care that he plays for Tottenham. I don't care. You know, I'm not like some. I've seen other YouTubers Lee Judges, one of them, won't cheer if Harry Kane scores. Ridiculous. You're telling me if he scores in the last minute of the World Cup final, he's not going to celebrate because he plays for Tottenham? That's ridiculous. And Lee Judges is a good bloke, and I just don't get that. Like Tottenham fans would probably cheer for Saka if he scored that penalty. It's you're at the end of the day, it's your country. You don't care whoever pulls on that shirt. They plan for England. They're playing for your country, not Tottenham, Arsenal, West Ham, Liverpool, Chelsea. So I don't buy all that. It's one thing that really gets on my nerves.
Yeah, it's a strange.
Matt Bell did some of our lot boo Haller. No, not as far as I know.
You did in your bedroom on your own.
Yeah, you definitely. Boo! It was.
Get him off.
No, there's an opinion, and I know that sometimes, like when the name's read out on the sort of the team sheet at a football club, there will be like a few groans, but I never remember any booing, to be quite honest with you. But then when he left, it was lockdown, wasn't it? So
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it might have got to that point. I don't know, but I've seen it. I've seen people get booed, and then I've seen them fucking get so tired of booing them, they just start cheering them for the sake of it. Like Bowen was one that used to do that. Like Bowen is fucking useless. But
yeah, it's like ironic cheering, wasn't it?
Yeah, so people got so sick of booing and they started cheering him. Repka was the same. Everyone booed Nolan. There you go.
Nolan,
which I thought was so ridiculous. I hated that. I absolutely hated
other people booing Noble sometimes, like over the last few years. Like, it's ridiculous. I just don't get it. Like, fucking just back the players.
Yeah. Paul Gray says, I called him. Maguire's been good for England out of all of this booing. The thing is, if England drop him, who comes in? Not as many good centre backs. Like I think there was a YouTuber, Howson, works for Ferdinand. Used to work for Full Time Devils. He's a bit of a dick, if I'm honest. But he sort of like he meant to spunk Man United, by the way. And he's got a picture of like Campbell and Rio, and after Ming scored his goal on Tuesday.
Yeah, against Ivory Coast.
Yeah, after Ming scored his goal, and him and Maguire hugging, and like he was like, "Oh fucking, how have we gone from that to that?" But he didn't fucking show that the fact that Danny Mills was starting in fucking right back. You know what I mean? That game and all that sort of thing. Like I just think that some of the fucking like stupidness that come out of some people's mouths. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's meant to be a Man United fan. Like, one of them's, yeah, they're all right. They're not the greatest centre-back pairing. They're not their fucking first choice centre-back pairing because Mings won't be playing. It'll be Stones. And, like, compare what the fucking current England team, who are a team, achieved compared to fucking Campbell, Ferdinand and all them fucking wankers, like, who had the egos. There ain't no comparison. They've gone fucking much further as a team.
The thing is, the one thing I would say is the last two tournaments, the World Cup and the Euros last summer, it's united a country. It's united. You see how everyone comes together.
Yeah, but then these dickheads try and divide it, right?
Yeah, nice. Southgate, everyone was in the pubs during the summer and barbecues and with their friends and family and just enjoying it, and we've seen, mate, I've seen some shitty England tournaments over my time. Mate, Euro 2000, fucking the shit. We didn't even qualify for Euro 2008, because we were so shit. But listen, I enjoy watching England now. Friendlies are always boring. Friendlies have been boring throughout the years because you never play your full strength teams. It's about trialing who can get into the squads. All it matters is that when we kick off against Iran on that first game in the World Cup, that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, not the first time England players have been booed. John Barnes, Ashley Cole, Raheem Sterling received it. Absolute joke. If you boo them, you're not an England fan. Howson is a joke. Yeah, honestly, I just don't get it. Like, we've had the same with this fucking Goldbridge all week about. He sits in his bedroom and he seems to think he knows the ins and outs of Declan Rice's transfer fucking activity. To be quite honest with you, I think it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. West Ham will not want more than 100 million. They're going to take 80 or 90, and it's just like, what are you talking about? Like, honestly, he's just, I don't see the point of a Declan Rice going to like, if he was ever going to leave, going to Man United. That club, it's a fallen club. They're just a name, they're just a brand now. That's all they are. As a football team that's competing for honours, Declan Rice ain't going to go there and be winning league titles.
The thing is with Man United, they're still one of the biggest clubs in the world, but team-wise, they're not. But it only takes for them to do 1 or 2 world-class transfers. They can always build that back up again because they've got the support. There's no denying that. They're just not run right.
Yeah. But do you know what the problem is? The rebuild job that club needs, it's going to take them years to get to where they want to go, because the players that they're losing in the summer, it's crazy the amount of players they're losing. Obviously, they've lost Greenwood. Obviously, Rashford will probably go. Lingard's going to go. They've got like a lot of midfielders out. Like Mata is out, is gone. Like so many of these players, Pogba, Ronaldo might go. They're going to have to buy a lot of players. If they slap down all that money on Rice, they can only probably buy like 1 or 2 other players.
I think I see some. I can't remember what Man City player it was tweeted out today that's saying since United last won a trophy, Man City have won 11 trophies in that time.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. They're like, you see all these clubs saying about, we're the biggest club, we're the biggest club, we're the biggest club, and what'd you base that on? You know what I mean? Like size, fan base, trophies, and different people say different things, but the go-to for Man United is trophies. You keep on going on this barren run. If you win 1 trophy and then Man City win 11, it won't be long before they surpass your trophy count.
The thing is, we all grew up seeing the Man United dominate for years, the 90s and early 2000s, and even the late, like not late too, but
up until 2011, 12.
Yeah, they were dominating, winning Champions Leagues, Premier League trophies, FA Cups.
But then I think times have changed, Ryan. This is what I'm saying. Like, since then, I mean, like I've done the overlap. Not this time. I haven't been asked back for a couple of times, but the first time when it was with Roy Keane, Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, and when you talk to Roy Keane in person, he didn't give a fuck about boots, about boot deals or sponsorship deals or who the manager was or where the boys were going afterwards or, Instagram, Snapchat and all of that sort of thing or creating a bunch of T-shirts and that. He wanted to win a football game, and everything that came his way all came from winning a football game. That was it. That is my job. I'm here to fucking win. I don't care how I win, but I play for Man United. They're the biggest fucking club in the world. We should be at the top, and that is it. Like, and he wouldn't stop. Yeah. And now you look at the United team now, and I'm going to even chuck in Lingard like this. Lingard's got his own brand. You know what I mean? Like, he's fucking one player that can't even get into the team. He's got his own brand of T-shirts, his own brand of this, his own brand. You got people like Pogba. And the rebuild that they need there is fucking phenomenal, to be quite honest with you. There's players that need to get rid of, the players that need to come in, and but everything is sort of, when you look at Man United as a brand, like in the last, what I would say, when did the Glazers take over? They've been in charge for a good 15 years now, haven't they? They chuck money into it. Like, nobody can turn around, because they signed the likes of Varane this year. Like, it cost a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, nobody can't say they ain't chucked money at it. But what they do is they seem to be buying players that build the brand but don't win the games, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's all fucking well and good. Oh, who do we buy? Varane from Real Madrid. It's a great player on FIFA. Who else did we buy? Cristiano Ronaldo. Fantastic. Best in the world. Sell 1 million shirts. But these players together are not winning football games.
Problem with United as well, and a lot of teams now, there's not enough leaders on the pitch.
No,
you look at Liverpool, they've got a Van Dijk at the back. You look at other teams, they've got that one player. You look down the years at Arsenal. Arsenal always used to have that Vieira, Adams, Keown. They used to have winners, and they used to have people that would give everything for the shirt. Players are not like that no more. You see players' reactions when we lose games. I mean, we lost to Tottenham in the Cup, and I love Declan Rice, But I don't want to see Declan Rice stand in the middle of the pitch laughing and joking with Harry Kane after we just lost to Spurs in the quarterfinal of the cup. I don't want to see that. I'd rather them do that down the tunnel. You don't want to see that from players. And I get where Roy Keane's come from. And it's the same thing that Julian Dix the other day. Like I said to him, like, take away the money side of it. Would you swap your era of playing to play now? He said, not a chance. He said, not a chance. Yeah. Because back then, it was a different game. It was a game that you look now how many times referees blow their whistles in a game, but you go and watch Premier League years on Sky Sports and you go back to even the early 2000s, referees used to let things flow. You used to let people tackle and things like that. It's just, the game's gone. And as you said, mate, listen, I've got no problem with players trying to make a career away from football. Like, if they want to do a brand and that, got no problem with it. But they earn enough money now that they don't really have to do that. Like, back in the days, they probably have to do things like that. Like, you see legends now have to go and do after dinner speaking because they didn't really earn that much money. But when you listen to their stories, you love them. In 10 years' time, do you want to go and listen to a Dele Alli talk about how he played the Xbox in a Tottenham training ground, or Jesse Lingard, or what watch he bought? You don't want to hear them sort of stories, and that's why that sort of era's dying out now, and it's a shame.
Yeah, big time. I just don't. Yeah, if I'm a Declan Rice, I don't go to Man United if I'm going there for football reasons. If I want to leave West Ham to progress, that ain't the option. It's not the destination.
What will happen, and then this is, as I said, if he goes to Manchester United, his stock rises. He becomes a worldwide superstar. Everyone that says he's not good enough now, all of a sudden he'll be the best thing since sliced bread.
But at the same time, he could be part of a Man United team that's still battling for top four. Obviously, he's going to improve the team, but they can still be a mess. And then everyone looks at him and starts blaming him, and he starts going through all the shit that the other players are going through and gets all the abuse that they get for it.
If he wants to stay in English football, I think a move to Man United would be wrong for him. This is why, because as I say, he'll never be as loved as he is at West Ham. I think anywhere he goes, right? But if he goes to Manchester United, without causing an absolute fucking ruckus, which I don't think Declan Rice would ever do, he then cuts himself out of the two most likely to win trophies in this country, because he can't go to Manchester City after he's played for Manchester United. It just wouldn't be accepted. He can't go to Liverpool.
Yeah,
he just can't. He can't make a direct transfer from Man United to Liverpool or Man City after he's played for Man United.
Yeah, it's only those two clubs and maybe Chelsea that he could go to and actually maybe realise.
So he only leaves himself open if he has to leave there for trophy reasons, to a move to Chelsea. At the moment, mate, I know that there's all these bids coming in left, right, and centre, but you don't know what sort of state Chelsea are going to be in, because it doesn't look like these people coming in to start fucking laying down hundreds of millions of pounds to get them to the elite level. They're buying that as a brand.
It's true. I think, in the summer, which I think will keep Declan Rice I don't think he'll leave this summer, but if he did decide he wanted to leave and the bid come in, if I'm him, I'm only accepting Liverpool or Man City at this stage, and then you see where football lies in the future. But I think he'll say, on this question, Martial, I see Martial and Rashford. In January, I would have took Martial on loan. As things stand and seeing how he's doing for Sevilla, I wouldn't take Martial. And Rashford is on way too much wages. The way he'd have to take a massive wage cut for me to want him at West Ham. I don't know about you guys.
He's another one. All the potential in the world, never fulfilled it. Never quite propelled himself. Never. I don't think works hard enough. But I think he could have worked for us. But seeing how he's gone to Sevilla, because I thought he was a really good player when he first came, and I thought a move to Sevilla might do him the world of good. But it just seems like he's stuck in them lazy ways. Doesn't look like he's improving at all.
So what about Rashford?
Rashford, I would take.
But what about the wages, though? What do you think about that?
The wages, he'll have to drop them. You're not going to come.
He's on what, $350 a week or something?
Yeah, something ridiculous. Which is, as I say before, we've got a bad culture in this country of putting these kids on astronomical wages. You know, and I think that is, you know, there's nothing for Rashford. Rashford's never going to earn more than that. Never.
I also think that comes down to the person herself, because you look at Declan Rice, he ain't on massive wages, but that don't seem to affect his game and attitude.
No.
So I think it's the club, the culture, the who you're around. You know, because I can imagine when Declan Rice goes away with the England squad and there are players in there, and he must look at these players and think they're on 200, 350 grand a week. I could go to United and earn that. You know, but I don't think, listen.
Yeah, but, you know, he's got like people like Mark Noble to look up to and to look after.
A short career, you know, and Declan Rice, as I said last week, wherever he goes in the world, he'll never be loved as much as he is at West Ham. I don't care what club he goes, and I don't think he'll ever have that connection with a fan base anywhere else in the world. He can go on and win trophies, and listen, he's going to eventually leave us at some point, but as I said, I can't see him leaving us in the summer. I think we could get another 2 years out of him at least. I really do.
Yeah, but that means him going on a free. He's not going to sign another contract.
But they're in talks with him to get a new deal now. So Declan Rice could sign a new... Listen, contracts don't mean nothing anyway. But if he signed a new 5-year deal and left in 2 years' time, West Ham will still get a lot of money for him.
If he signs a new contract now, right, this is my belief. This is not fact or anything like that. If he signs a new contract now, it'll be on the agreement that, okay, I'll give you another year, but next year I'm going. And this is just a way to get the maximum amount of money for me that you can. It'll be an agreement with...
I'll get him to sign it, and then in 2 years' time, I'll say, no, we didn't say that. Bullshit.
Well, this is the thing. This is like Harry Kane, isn't it? It's like Harry Kane's situation, because I think he signed the deal with that same mindset. And then that's why when Tottenham wouldn't sell him and they were asking for 150 mil, we kicked off and tried to leave, because it was like he signed under the understanding of... But this is why you can always say, put in a really high release clause. And then people are more... Look at Grealish. Grealish, that still baffles me, that transfer. But because he had the 100 mil release clause, they just had to pay it, and it just made it simple. So
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He signed that contract knowing that they'll get 100 million for him.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I believe Rice. I believe that Kane's got to deal with someone already lined up. He'll go to Man United. Kane.
But this is what I mean. Like, there's no way they're signing Rice and Kane together.
No, I don't think so. But Kane definitely got something lined up already. Like
the way, like 8 players.
The way he started the season with the not training and all of that sort of thing. Then all of a sudden he comes back, always forgiven. He has a shit 3 or 4 months, and then all of a sudden he's on fucking fire towards the end of the season. Makes me just think, yeah, he's that's what I'm saying. Like, he's twerking now for someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think deep down, it's same with us with Declan Rice. I think if you ask Tottenham fans, I think they'd give Harry Kane their blessing for him to go and somewhere else, because he's given a lot of years to Tottenham.
Yeah, I think they would, but there's a lot of them in denial.
Yeah, of course, because you don't want to lose your best players. It don't matter who you support, you never want to lose your best players.
No, you don't. Of course you don't.
When we lost Payet, I was gutted. When we lost Arnautovic, I was gutted. But as I said last week, if Rice goes, it's another chance for another club hero to step up and step into his shoes, and that's what happens. Football moves on.
Yeah. I'm just really hoping for a big summer for West Ham, like Moyes has sort of hinted at, or the news has sort of hinted that Moyes is talking about. Because
as Dixie said the other night, Dan and Cole, they both said the same thing. If West Ham want to keep Declan Rice, they've got to go out early in the transfer window and bring a few players in.
Make some statements, make some statements that show him the ambition.
And the thing is, as well, he's got the opportunity now that he will be the full-time captain next season. I know he's been our captain for most of the season, but obviously Mark Noble is club captain. He'll be given that armband, and he can. David Club say to him, "Now you take this team forward, take this club forward."
Do you know? I see the news that come out about the club as it stands are not going to renew or offer new deals to Fredericks and Yarmolenko, right? And I look at Fredericks, and you think, do you just give him a little deal? Because he's Rice's fucking mate.
Absolutely fucking not.
Ryan
Fredericks is fucking really bad. Like, good athlete, good bloke. He's done a good job in times, but he's not much of a footballer.
I think he's injury prone. I think he's
injuries have done him, yeah. But you know, in terms of like football wise, he's just not a great footballer. Like, and I mean that with the greatest respect. And I mean that with no like fucking disrespect. He came to us on a free transfer. He's done a job. We've moved past him. If we want to move on as a club, we've got to move past people like Ryan Fredericks. And the same with Yarmolenko as well. Yarmolenko, yeah, fantastic. Great story. Last couple of games before lockdown, so before international break, he comes on, scores the winner in 2 of the games, especially the one with the European Cup. But for me, you know, apart from everything that happened in the Ukraine, and as I said, and he's up, you know, there's times when I think his mind might not have been on it, you know, more recently. But before that, he like, I mean this with the greatest respect. I don't want anyone, like, I know what's happening in the Ukraine is terrible. He couldn't give a shit. He was just running down his contract, 120 grand a week or whatever he's on. Was just happy to sit there.
The thing is, though, if he has a great end to the season, as I said, he gets another few goals and some important goals, and he ends the season really well. He's only 32. Would you not offer him another year, 2-year deal?
Do you know what, right? What I would do, he's got about 10, 12 games, right, for me, if we get to the European Cup final, that is. Show you want to be here. Because what I see from before
I think he had the last few games.
The last few games he's been good, but there's that don't excuse him for the last year or
so.
No,
I know that. But
when he's taking £120,000 a week, and like, you know what I mean, even before all this war stuff, right? We've watched him warm up.
Is it? That's not his fault. The wages ain't his fault.
The wages are not his fault. The wages are not his fault. I can't fault him for the wages. We're stupid enough, but you know, for that sort of money, I want 100% professionalism. I don't think he's tried hard enough. I honestly don't.
I agree with what you're saying. Of course I do. But the thing is as well, looking at Yarmolenko, if you're getting 1 minute here, 2 minutes there, not coming on early enough to affect the games, you can understand that from players. It's frustration. You know, you're getting. I see it as a sort of a mug off sometimes when you get brought on with a minute to go. Like
I do agree. I do agree.
Run about, and then shake people's hands.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that to a certain extent, but I want players to. Because I think Haller was in this sort of category. I think Anderson was in this sort of category. Yeah, sat on the bench, looking at the players on the pitch, thinking, "I'm too good to be sitting on the bench." Well, if you're too good to be sitting on the bench, do something about it.
I think this is a problem of the transition over the Pellegrini, because all the players you're talking about were like under the Pellegrini era. And then all the issues, and I'm not blaming Moyes. What I'm saying is these were Pellegrini era players, and then it's now Moyes' era, completely different style of football, different philosophy, work rate, run, all of that sort of stuff. So I think that's a bit of an issue. And obviously,
he wants a certain type of player, Dan. But I said this about Haller, and I think I've got to say this about Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko, the last couple of games, he's been like a breath of fresh air, but it's circumstances, you know what I mean? Like, he's seen a lot of love. There's been a lot of people getting behind him and all that sort of thing. But I think it got to the point before the war, we weren't never going to see Yarmolenko again, I don't think. Honestly, I've got to know it's true.
Well, I don't know, because Moyes kept, for some reason, bringing him on. And that's what was, and at the time, and now, look, it's a different story. But like, you had bloody, you know, Okoflex on the bench, and everyone's screaming, "Oh, let's see Okoflex!" And he was bringing Yarmolenko on, and Yarmolenko wasn't doing anything. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that game against Kidderminster was a fucking disgrace. It was a disgraceful performance from him, and this is what I'm saying with him. Like, there is a lot of times that I've seen him before all of this happened, where he didn't try hard enough, he didn't look interested. And I know what you're saying, right, about he's feeling mugged off. And I feel like a few players felt like that, but there's different attitudes, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not in the team and you're the highest paid player on the team, then I would be saying, fucking, I've got to work, I've got to do whatever it takes to make sure I'm in this team.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't. He was happy to just sit there on the bench, let his contract run down.
I think with the players nowadays, I mean, if you're 120 grand a week and you're not playing and you're 32, you probably think, I'm still earning a good wage. I'm happy with my life. That's the problem. If every player was on pay as you play, trust me, they'd be upping it in training. Maybe that's the way forward. Everyone's on pay as you play.
But then it's down to them players to you know, to motivate themselves. If Cristiano Ronaldo was doing that for West Ham, do you think he'd be sitting there going, "Well, I'm earning 500"? No, he'd be knocking on the manager's door saying, "Why the fuck ain't I playing? You know, what can I do to get me back in the team?" And I just don't feel like that from a couple of players. There's a lot of changes to be had at West Ham. I just, you know, what we want to see now, and I'm going to completely back Moisey because, you know, his transfer policies over the last couple of years has been spot on. You know, it's down to him now to find the quality. He really needs to, and I feel like this is a pivotal moment in his sort of managerial career because he's, you know, everyone's full of praise, but now we're on a balance. We've had 2 good seasons. We've had a good run in the cup. People have got this fucking taste for this. You know, they're not going to just take, you know, back to battling relegation next year without a pinch of salt, especially if you ain't signed a striker, you know, or a decent striker.
There's a lot of rumours about Calvert-Lewin from Everton. And I've seen mixed reviews on this as well because a lot of people saying, "Oh, another injury-prone player." But I think if you could pick him up for 40 million, I'd definitely take that gamble. I think he's a brilliant player. And listen, any player's a risk because any player, it don't matter if they've got an injury record or not, they can pick up an injury and miss a season. But I think he'll be perfect for West Ham. I really do. The way he plays, the way we put balls into the box, I think it'd suit West Ham, Calvert-Lewin.
If we've had money to spend in January and they add it to the money we've got to spend in the summer, I would have him. I would have Werner. I think if we can afford Werner or convince him to come here, I don't think we can. But for the money they're asking for him, 30 million quid, like that geezer in Germany was a fucking machine. Like he was like Erling Haaland levels at times at Leipzig. He's gone to Chelsea, it hasn't quite worked out for him. But I think he's got attributes that would suit us perfectly for 30 million quid. If you could afford, if you could, I don't think he will. I think personally, I think he's going to end up going back to the Bundesliga, and I think he'll go to Dortmund.
He'll end up at Arsenal. Arsenal always take the Chelsea players that fail.
I think he'll end up back in the Bundesliga with Dortmund because I think he'll replace Haaland.
Yeah,
because Haaland's going to go. But if we could convince him, forget about Brozier. You're not going to get Brozier. Chelsea are going to take him back next season. But I would take Werner for a gamble for £30 million. I think when you think about what we've spent £30 million on right, if you could get even a half of the form that he was in Dortmund, you'll have a fucking Leipzig. You'd have a brilliant player there, and I think he's worth the gamble.
We definitely need 2 strikers. We need at least one left back, depending on what happens with Masuaku. If Masuaku goes, maybe you're looking at 2 or bringing the youngster up. But we need Areola, sign him. We need a centre back, 100%.
Tammy Abraham. People were saying about Tammy. Tammy's gone to Roma, done really well. Now they want 100 million quid for him. The boat sailed for Tammy Abraham. Yeah, we
had the chance, didn't we? You know, and at the time, and I think Moyes wasn't sure on him, but we're going to need a good amount of players. We're probably going to have a few going out. Bonner being back is a boost, and they're going to give him another 1-year deal by the sound of it. I don't know if he's going to be the same after that injury, but it's going to be interesting what happens with Diop. Like, we've got a lot of players, obviously Diop, question marks over him. Dawson and Ogbonna are a little bit older now. I want to see us sign a top centre back, but then it's what happens to the others, because then we'll have quite a few centre backs there. Someone's going to need to be moved on.
Look, I think there's players up for grabs. I think Ben Rama's up for grabs. I don't think Moisey likes him. I think obviously we're going to lose Noble, Yarmolenko, Fredericks. That's 4. Masuaku, he wants out the door. That's 5. I think
Masuaku wants out the door.
No, I think they want him out the door.
I was going to say, I thought Masuaku wants to leave. Fucking hell.
Masuaku ain't leaving for shit. I think they want Masuaku out the door. I think they'd sell Diop with
Lanzini's been linked with a move back to Argentina.
Maybe that'll be one for next year. I think he's got back in. But we've got to talk about Manuel Lanzini in a second.
Apparently, he wants to go back to was it River Plate? He's from originally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Might
yeah,
be River Plate, to finish out his career there.
yeah, but he's only 29, so he's got another couple of years here yet. I think he's one of them ones where he'll run down his contract. But yeah, that's 7 players right there.
Yeah.
7 players.
I think
That's without talking about Declan Rice.
I think Ben Rama's done quite well this season. When you look at his stats, he's got 9 goals this season. His assists are picking up now. He's playing well. He's one of these players that you give him that first team football and let him get into his rhythm. And, he can be a good player. We know he's got the talent there, but he's so inconsistent and he just needs that. He's got, I think he's got 9 goals so far this season. He's one of our top goal scorers.
Yeah.
I didn't even realise he had that many goals.
He's got quite a few goal involvement, goals and assists for West Ham, right up there. So
he had a really good start.
We never really seen we struggle having players like that are massively consistent. Bowen went on a really quite a good lengthy run, but even at the start of the season, his finishing was dreadful. For quite a few the first few months until he started finding his finishing boots. Antonio this season started brightly, he's fizzled out. This consistency is always been a problem for West Ham, even with our brightest players.
I think that was a massive boost to come out in the international break as well. Is obviously Antonio didn't go away with Jamaica, so he's had a nice rest. So hopefully he's raring to go on Sunday against Everton because we need him now. We need him in these final few games.
Well, he usually picks up around this time of year, doesn't he? Usually sort of gets going towards the end of the season. So, if he finds some form and goes on a really good run, that'll be absolutely massive.
He's normally had a fucking lot of rest by now with injuries and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Hopefully, this 2 weeks and he's really looked after himself.
I looked at Antonio's body language at Tottenham. He looked dead.
No.
Even in the warm-up, mate, he's got his head down and all that. He's low on confidence. He's low on goals. He's tired, and he's got no one to take the pressure off of him. And I think it's affecting him. I really do.
Yeah.
But hopefully, this week and a half or 2 weeks off, like if he's done fuck all, hopefully he's done something.
He's been a bit hard done by with not having another striker coming in. Really, the geezer's been flogged completely all season.
Yeah, yes, yeah. I think it's a bit unfair on him, to be honest with you. But
and he's no spring chicken. When you get into your 30s, recovery is not as quick as it used to be. So
fucking don't know. My foot's still fucking fucked from football 2 weeks ago. I thought I was going to be back this week. Can't even hardly step on it.
Yeah, I think you've done something a little bit more serious than you think, mate. I don't know what you've done.
It's all right now. It's the last couple of days, it's died down a bit, but I'm not going to play Monday. I'll leave it another week.
Yeah, just be careful. Talking about recoveries and injuries and all that sort of thing, it sounded like Manuel Lanzini was a very lucky boy last couple of days ago. Do you know what? Funny enough, I heard that there was a car flipped. It was a Mercedes V-Class. And I know a friend of ours has been doing a bit of work for West Ham recently. I was thinking, I hope that ain't him. Has flipped the car on the A13 or whatever it was, A12 or whatever it was. Yeah. But it seems like he was in a V-Class getting driven back from international break. And there was an incident and the cars ended up on his side, but he walked away from it all right. He wasn't rushed to hospital, like a couple of the headlines says. Apparently, he got out of the car, they checked him over, he was all right, and he went straight to training from there.
They checked him in the training ground, didn't they?
Yeah.
Just done a quick medical.
Our players are quite lucky when it comes to these car crashes with Antonio, Sacco, Lanzini.
Yeah, but the thing is with Antonio, he was dressed as a snowman at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't even make that up.
Yeah,
but,
you can't.
I mean, it could have been a lot worse. And I'm just glad he's all right. And hopefully he should be in the squad for Sunday. He should be starting on Sunday. He was training today. So it's probably just a bit breaking up. I mean, that'd scare anyone,
Of course it will. You flip over and all that, but it seems like he went straight to training and all that. But all these fucking clickbait merchants about he's been rushed to hospital and all that sort of thing. He wasn't rushed anywhere. He went straight to training from the car crash. He was on his way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's very lucky, and
We're very lucky as well.
We're very lucky, and fortunately walked away from it, and that's all that's important at the end of the day, isn't it? So, yeah. I'm ready to go. Ask us anything, unless we've got anything else to talk about. Oh, do you want to talk about the World Cup draw?
Yeah.
Didn't really mention it, did we?
Yeah, great draw for England, Iran, USA, and Scotland, Wales, or Ukraine. Come on, Ukraine. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a dream draw for Scotland and Wales if they get through and they get to play the mighty England. But yeah, I mean, Iran first game, USA second game. By the time we should get to that third game, it should all be sort of done and dusted in the group. I mean, USA, I remember them celebrating a 1-1 draw. Remember that their famous headline in the New York Post, USA beat England 1-1. That's how much it meant to them. They actually thought they won the game. But
jeez.
They
don't know what draws are over there, do they, in America?
I think the only person that was disappointed with drawing the USA was Rob Green, because now they're going to replan that mistake over and over again during the World Cup when they build up to that game. But yeah, no, it's a great draw for England. I mean, Iran first game.
What sort of state are they in now, USA?
Well, they've only just qualified. I think it's their first World Cup.
Canada topped the group, didn't they? They topped the qualifying.
The last time Canada, they were saying earlier, the last time Canada was in the World Cup, they was in the same group as the Soviet Union. That's how long ago they was in the World Cup. So, yeah, listen, it's exciting. I know we're not excited like the World Cup's in Qatar and it's in November, but I think when it comes nearer the time, I think we're all going to soak it up and enjoy it. And it's going to be a different experience because we're only ever used to summer tournaments. So to be in the winter, but yeah, it's a great draw for England, and I can't see them struggling to get out of that group.
What about apparently England, if France win the group and England win the group, then it's England, France in the quarterfinals.
Happy days. Bring them on.
Yeah. Whatever.
It'd be like the Germany, wouldn't it, in the Euro?
The thing is, as well, like, I mean, I know Scotland and Wales. I mean, I think Scotland have got to play Ukraine, in and then the winner of that plays Wales. So it's imagine Scotland Wales playing to get into the World Cup. That'll be a massive game, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. But look, Ukraine have got a lot to play for as well. You know, with what's going on, they're going to be lifted and boosted to want to give their country a massive list and take them to the World Cup. So
when do they play that game?
June.
They play it in June, definitely, because that could anything can happen, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think they said it was in June that they played that, and then obviously Scotland Wales would be a massive game. And when you look at the two teams, Wales would be favourites, but Scotland on their day, you know, they can cause an upset, and you know, even during the Euros when we drew 0-0 with them, you know, we all thought we was going to get a comfortable victory. Scotland are a tough team, so I know there's a lot of Scottish out there, and I know there's a lot of Welsh. Now, as English, we just put our feet up and we're already there, so we can just enjoy it with a cigar and a beer and watch them fight out on the pitch. But I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, one of your mini cigars.
I'll bring all 400 of them. We'll all be smoking during the World Cup.
400 cigars during the watch along. But yeah, no, it's exciting, and I'm excited for England. I mean, England. I don't think have we ever played Iran before. I don't even know.
I think years and years ago.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. And obviously, we know the USA last time we played them. It was in the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. So yeah, it's gonna. I thought we was going to draw Croatia. We always draw Croatia, but yeah, we sort of slipped that one this time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It's an odd, like they said to me today, right? Which I think this is going to be perfect. Yeah, so they can temperature control the stadium, each stadium. This is what they said to me. So they had a roof that goes over, and they can either heat up in cold weather or cool down with air conditioning in hot weather. So they can climatize the temperature. So if that's true, and maybe it's to do with crowd safety, I don't know, but why the fuck ain't we just having it in the summer? Because it ain't going to matter either way, is it? Just shut the roofs up and fucking put the air conditioning on.
The problem is as well, is like Qatar, everyone's against the World Cup there, but everyone was against the Russia World Cup, and it was one of the best World Cups for a long time. So I know, like, there's with the Qatar, there's a history and why people don't want it there. But as you said, if they can do things like that, I mean, when England play, put the fucking snow machine on, give us some English weather. Let's have it, mate. Put the snow on, put the rain. We'll rinse that World Cup. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It's just shit because with the World Cups and the Euros, it's always nice, the summer vibe. You're in the beer garden.
That's it.
And that
the pubs are going to be more packed inside this time. Everyone's going to be in there with their cups of tea and coffee. But,
imagine we're watching the World Cup final, and then afterwards, fucking Mariah Carey's coming on a Christmas song.
No, that's my ideal dream. That is, mate. I love that Christmas songs after an England game.
Yeah, someone needs a Christmas World Cup song this year. Combine them. We've had World Cup songs, we've had Christmas songs. Let's have a Christmas World Cup.
Yeah, we need Glenn Hoddle and Terry Venables to do a World Cup Christmas song.
It's coming home for Christmas. Let's have that. Come on, it's coming home for Christmas.
It's coming home for Christmas. Yeah, we can get Chris Rea to do that. Come on.
Yeah, that's a good idea, that, right?
His dead moment there. He's not going to take it on there.
It's coming home for Christmas, yeah.
That's what we need.
Can't wait to see Maguire.
I'm excited now. Like, we ain't even finished this season now. I can't wait for the World Cup.
No, but the thing is, it's confusing me because it's normally the summer, isn't it? Like, you're thinking, yeah, the season's coming, the World Cup's coming. No, we've got to wait till November.
Yeah, but you can get your holidays in now. Get your holidays in the summer. Have a summer.
I saw someone said that our game against Iran, between the last Premier League game, there's like 8 days between the last Prem game and that Iran game. Like, into the way it's worked out, because England's the first game, I think, of the tournament.
Yeah, we're on the opening date. We're not the first game. Qatar be the first game.
Yeah,
because that's the late edition.
But that's going to be crazy, isn't it? Like, this is what I'm interested in, how it's going to affect everything, because they play all the Prem football. 8 days later, it's the World Cup. World Cup finishes. Then, however long later, back to Premier League football.
I think the World Cup finishes on the 22nd, and the first Premier League game is Boxing Day.
That's just mad. That's insane. I don't understand how this is gonna.
I tell you what, we moan about players' wages, but they're definitely gonna be earning their fucking wages next season.
But I tell you what, right? Them clubs like Liverpool and Man City. Imagine, I know we said how much benefit, but teams with lots of internationals that have got players at that World Cup, they're gonna be crying their eyes out. I tell you.
Well, that's a good thing. At the moment, we've only got Declan Rice, so. We could be all right. We might have Bowen as well. You never know.
Maybe Lanzini might get called up to Argentina.
Yeah. Who else can make it?
Again, who else? France,
Areola might never know.
Areola could, if we sign Areola, he could be in the squad. Yeah. Lingard, if Lingard
comes. Zuma could be in the France squad.
Zuma, that's a shout. Fornals could be for Spain, potentially.
Yeah.
I think he was at the Euros, wasn't he? Croatia, Vlasic.
Fabianski.
Oh, someone just said there the final.
No, Fabianski's retired.
18th of December, yeah.
Fabianski's retired from international football, so he won't be there.
We'll be listening to fucking the way this country goes. We'll be listening to Christmas songs fucking 3 months before the fucking World Cup even starts.
Fucking rightly so. Put them on in the summer in my eyes.
Don't get me wrong, mate. I like Christmas. I love Christmas, and I love the Christmas songs. But playing them fucking meticulously from the fucking 2nd of September or whatever they start putting them on.
Lee's just said there, them 5 subs don't sound too bad now, do they?
Yeah.
All our fucking players are going to be away, but it's going to be good. It's going to be interesting. You know, I've got a soft spot for America as well, so it's going to be interesting. But listen, I mean, England till I die. I don't care. I don't. Everyone's saying about, I don't want Scotland there. I don't want Wales there. Fuck them. I want England there. Don't worry about Scotland, Wales. Come on, Ukraine. Come on, Yarmolenko.
Canada's going to be my second team. This I'm going to be supporting Canada massively. Such a huge underdog. I'd love to.
I'm only joking, by the way, Scottish and Welsh fans. It's good when they're at tournaments because the fans.
Do you know what? Their fans are fucking brilliant. They are brilliant. But
That's what I love. I love like the Scottish and Welsh. You know, the last 2 tournaments they've been, and Scotland haven't been in the World Cup since '98. So it's a long old time. And Wales, I can't remember the last time they were in the World Cup. It was like in the 50s, I think it was. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
No, don't get me wrong. I don't mind fucking like their fans and that going and have a good time, but I don't like them to get there because every time that they're not there, or even when they are there, they just want us to lose.
Mate, I don't want anyone to do well. I don't want them to do well. When people say Ireland, Scotland, Wales, I don't want them to do well. I want England to win.
No, that's right.
They hate us. They don't want us to win. So I remember when Wales, when we got knocked out of the Euros, and they were celebrating like they won it.
Yeah.
And we beat them in that tournament, and we were shit.
Yeah, we was crap. Fucking Daniel Sturridge scored the winner.
93rd minute winner. But yeah, no, it'll be it's going to be interesting. But yeah.
Anyway, let's go ask us anything. I think unless anyone's got anything else to speak about.
No, I don't think so.
Debbie Todd says England win the World Cup. America fans, says Mike Theory, in football sound like the applause of a talk show. Hi from the Gambia, West Ham United Hammers Football Club. Hello, mate. Nice to see you in here. T36, nice. Enna Jassy says, hello from the Gambia. He says it again. Sorry. Ghana, Uruguay will be interesting. Why would that be interesting?
It was wasn't that the one where Suarez handballed it on the line? The last time they played each other.
Absolutely right.
And they missed the penalty, didn't they?
Yes, yeah. Christmas starts here in August. It goes on forever, says Paul Gray. Kieran Trippier and Bruno Gomes earn less than Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko's top goal scorer this World Cup. Get your bets on it. Roy May Jr. was obviously over in Texas. Says England versus USA is a day after Thanksgiving over here. Should be phenomenal. Ratings as long as it's not super early. What's the time difference? Does anybody know?
I don't think it's that bad. It's not like the Japan World Cup when we had to watch it like 7 o'clock in the morning against Brazil.
Cody Wilkie says Germany or Holland will win the World Cup. Okay, Cody, no problem.
Holland got a really good draw, didn't they? They should smash their group. And Holland haven't been in the last couple of tournaments, have they? So they'll be buzzing for this.
What, it's going to be like fucking... Like, this is what I'm saying about World Cups and all that being fixed and all that. Do you remember the South Korea World Cup?
Japan, South Korea.
South Korea, yeah. And South Korea got to the semi-finals of the World Cup.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Well, yeah, to be fair, though, they were decent that year.
Yeah. It's easy to be decent when you fucking pay off the refs. Fucking some of those fucking decisions were shocking, man. Like the fucking.
I remember Greece winning Euro 2004. That was an upset.
Yeah, it was an upset. Yeah, but they. I mean, it was one of them ones where a bit like Portugal. Really, they didn't really win a game. They just dragged everything out. But
won that tournament.
Yeah, the Japan South Korea one when they got to the semi-finals of the fucking World Cup.
Yeah, South Korea. Yeah, so yeah, they did beat Italy on goal.
Yeah, it was.
Italy ain't even in the World Cup.
No, they're not in the World Cup. No.
That's what you get for pulling Saka back.
Ben Rama to Brentford and Luca Toni. Is it Luca Toni? No, it's not Luca Toni, is it? Fucking who's Luca Toni?
Ivan Toni, isn't it?
Ivan Toni. To West Ham.
Yeah, I mean, look, Tony's a decent player. He's a great striker. We need a striker. Oh, and if there was maybe a swap deal and some money or whatever, I don't know. But yeah.
No. Tony's attitude is terrible. I can't, honestly, I think his attitude is terrible.
What's he doing? What's that? That was like in Wayne's World.
I thought it was on watching the Crystal Maze for a second. Then I thought he was telling me to go to the Aztec zone.
Yeah, you're locked in. You're gonna have to come back with a crystal. I'm not seeing any questions coming in, boys.
Yeah, any questions? Come on, get your questions in. Ask us anything. We'll go for another 15 minutes. Let's time out. Oh, I've just gone 9. Oh.
Yeah, so if you had to pick Hammer of the Year now, who would it be? Do you know what? It'd be hard for me to I don't know if I'm just saying that just because of recency bias and the form he's been on recent times, but Bowen, I think, is a top candidate for Am of the Year.
I think he walks it this year, if I'm honest.
Bowen.
Yeah.
I don't know, mate. I think
Zuma could be up there.
I think Declan Rice might get it this year. He's been immense. Bowen will be there. There'll be between Bowen, Zuma, and Rice, I think.
Yeah, I think whoever scores the winner in the Europa League final should get it.
Oh, they should get a statue. I don't care.
That's what I said. If John Malenko does it, 5-year deal.
Even if it's Arsenal Masuaku, give him a statue.
Yeah, statue, new deal, the works.
But yeah, I think Declan Rice has been levels this season. Honestly, he's just been every game. He just drags us through, and he's been immense. And it would, yeah.
Someone said, "Did you hear about the drummer from the Foo Fighters passing away? I saw him in 2015. They were incredible." Yeah, of course, man. I was going to the concert. They've cancelled it.
Yeah, they've cancelled it, haven't they?
Yeah, cancelled the rest of their tour. It was sad, man.
Well, that's why you shouldn't do drugs. That's what happens.
I do agree with that in a way.
What happened? Did they?
They found 12 different drugs in him. Yeah, they're like
man.
Just
what?
mental,
At that age, like he seemed like you see his interviews, seemed like he had his life together, he had his family and that. What the hell, man?
Yeah, it's just mental.
But it's one of them things, isn't it? I find it. See, 50 years old, and I know, like, you've got to live up to the tag and all of that sort of thing. Rock star, drinking, smoking, doing drugs, and all of that sort of thing. But that's all right when you're 20, 30. When you're 50 and you've got kids and people are relying on you and you've got families and all that, come on, man. Like, pack that in, you know what I mean?
Right, mate. Mick Jagger's still fucking rocking around that stage and he's 170 years old.
No, but I'm just saying, like, you know, if you're taking that many drugs that it could cause something like that, come on, you know, there's no need.
Yeah, I agree. It's still obviously a sad loss.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned there as well about Tom Parker passing away. That's devastating. That story.
Yeah.
Terrible. 33 years old, man. No one deserves that. No one.
No.
It's a shame. Family man as well. Young kids, beautiful wife. You know, it's tragic.
How did he die?
He had a brain tumor, didn't he? He got it during lockdown in 2020. Yeah, it's sad, man. It's terrible.
Yeah, it is absolutely fucking awful, mate, to be quite honest with you. That's a funny joke, man. West Ham Fan TV's view on Will Smith. That was crazy. But let me just read this. The police dusted down Chris Rock's face and they found the Fresh Prince.
You know what? The thing is with that, it's crazy because Zuma kicked a cat and he got fined. Will Smith slapped him and won an Oscar 5 minutes later. Well, come on, sort it out. No, but look, joking aside, I mean, I can't still to this day, like, I can't work out if it was a setup or not, because when you look at Chris Rock's reaction after, I don't think that was a setup. I really don't.
No, it was real.
And I think that he's the winner out of that because he's held himself so good. Like, Will Smith was just like, I understand, like, look, anyone, if someone takes the piss out of your wife, or, you know, but it's a comedian up there. They're going to make jokes.
Yeah.
You know, would he have done that if that was Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, Chris Rock, yeah, The Rock, probably not. Yeah. You know what I mean?
He laughed at first. He was like, ha, ha, and then I think he saw his wife.
But then someone showed a different angle of it today, and they showed Jada's reactions after when Chris Rock was making jokes about it. She was laughing her head off. So it's one of them things, but it's crazy. It definitely, like, to be honest, if that didn't happen, I didn't even know the Oscars were happening.
No, do you know what? I was talking about this Sunday on my stream. Remember award shows back before the internet was a big thing. Like the Oscars would come up, or the VMAs, or the BAFTAs, and you'd watch them because there was nothing else to watch. Now we've got the internet, there's options and everything. Who cares about award shows anymore?
To be fair, that is like Will Smith. That is a fucked up family, man. Like, you look at their family his wife. I mean, they're in an open relationship. It's been his wife for fucking 27 years. They've got kids together. She was fucking running around with some fucking like 20-year-old kid the other year. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's in a situation where he loves that woman so much, and I think that
Well,
woman.
she admitted, didn't she? They've got an open relationship.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's weird, isn't it? But I think it's one of them things where that's what she wants. I don't think that's what he wants. And he's so like, I'm a massive Will Smith fan. I've watched him. You know, I remember watching him since fucking Fresh Prince days. Like, I used to fucking sit there ready for the Fresh Prince to come on every fucking. I think it was on a Tuesday or something over here. I mean, my mate used to sit around, and I'm fucking massive Will Smith fan. He's one of them people that I've always thought was got his shit together, and then all of a sudden, he gets to a point where he's sitting there laughing at a comedian's joke, and his wife has obviously taken a bit of an offence to it, to the point where he thinks he's got to get up and give the geezer a slap on national fucking television. Could have ruined his career. You know what I mean? Like, he might have even already lost, ruined his career. I think it's like.
Well, Chris Rock's done well out of it, because ever since that incident, he sold out all of his shows.
Yeah,
so
like
he's done well.
Yeah, he has, and he makes fantastic films like Will Smith. You know what I mean? Comedies, Hitch and that, to action films. I fucking love I Am Legend. I love fucking Ali. I love there's loads of The Pursuit of Happiness, like serious films, comedy films, action films. He can do it all. He's such a talented guy. But he's just fucking controlled by the woman that like he made a joke about her a couple of years ago, Jada Smith, saying like she said
Is Dan gone, or he looks like a sunburnt ET?
I don't know. I'm going to mute him now because I can hear a lot of things going on. But yeah, it just seems like he's been brainwashed by this woman that he's literally like I think she's fucking riding on his success and has done for years. But, at Sharp Fitness, let's move on. He says no one cares. Let's move on.
Yeah, you should check out I did my karaoke on the stream of Wiki Wild Wild West the other day. Though I'll post that. People can see the real Will Smith in action.
Respect to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
Let's see. I found what's the cool. That's a big question, Armo. What's the one thing you love about every country? Oh, in the England group. I thought you said in the World Cup.
Oh,
in the England group. Iran, I love the Iron Sheik. I think he's hilarious. I think he's brilliant.
1 second.
Yeah, that's the only thing I know from Iran is the Iron Sheik.
Yeah, Iron Sheik. And then USA.
USA, all of it. Las Vegas. I love that.
Yeah, some great films over the years. I'd say some absolutely brilliant films.
Ukraine, Yarmolenko.
Yeah, definitely Yarmolenko.
No, Ukraine, I'll have to say the Klitschko brothers for boxing. Scotland, Gio and Robert Snodgrass. And Wales, Ginger Pele.
Yeah, someone said Bale. It's like, no, definitely not Bale for us for West Ham.
I'll have to say John Hartson and Ginger Pele for me.
What is
Gavin Stacey, Barry Island.
Oh no, they can keep that. Whiskey from Scotland. Scotland, I do like an iron brew. I do like an iron brew.
What's the question?
What's your favorite thing about every country in England's group? So that's Iran, USA, possibly Scotland, Wales, or Ukraine. What's your favorite thing about Iran?
Favorite thing about Iran?
Yeah.
I
said the Iron Sheik.
I can't think of it. And I don't mean this rudely. I can't think of anything from Iran apart from the Iron Sheik.
He hates Hulk Hogan as well.
Yeah. He's called him a jabroni.
Follow him on Twitter because it's hilarious.
I've seen some of his tweets. And he does make me laugh.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Scotland's Christian Daly.
USA, probably fast food.
Well, speaking of fast and USA, Formula One's going to be in Las Vegas next year. That's going to be mental.
Oh,
Crazy.
fucking Omar Jalili is from Iran. He's an
Who's
Iranian.
Dino Ginelli?
Omar Jalili. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Digi Ali, yeah, the comedian.
The comedian.
Yeah, he's
Chris
Oh,
Whaley
what, the
says
one who
Nicky
got done
doesn't
for that
run.
joke, didn't he? About the
is he the one that was in Meme Machine?
Yes. The big guy. You would know him.
Yeah, I
You
know
know
he
the
is.
films.
Yeah, I know he is. Yeah.
Whatever. Here's a question. What other owners of any Premier League team would you have as owners of West Ham? Leicester's owners. Hands down.
I don't know. I'd probably take City's owners for the money.
yeah. Leicester's have done quite well. I'm trying to think of like the other owners. I mean, Aston Villa's owners have spent a lot of money. They've got money, but so far they haven't made it click. But they seem to be ambitious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's watching WrestleMania.
Nah.
I
might take it.
Fucking tape it, were you in the fucking 90s?
fucking taping a VHS.
Mate, when I was young,
and
I swear on my life, I used to be such a fucking wrestling nut. Yeah, I swear down. I used to have a cupboard, right? And you'll back me up on this, right? I used to have a cupboard. Like it was like a what was the thing? It was I put it in my bedroom purposely for this reason, right? It was like, you remember in the old days you used to get a wooden cabinet for the record player.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he used to have the one, and he used to have. I bought loads of fucking blank videotapes, loads of them. So it filled up this fucking thing, top to bottom, front to back, with blank tapes. And every Friday, because I used to go out for a drink, yeah, and every pay-per-view, I used to get one of these blank tapes out, right, and get my brother to record Raw for me. It used to be on a Friday night. I'll never forget it. Friday night, 10 o'clock, used to be on. He used to record Raw for me. SmackDown wasn't about then, but then they brought Sunday Night Heat to Channel 4.
WCW was 9 o'clock on TNT, by the way.
I never used to watch WCW. But my brother used to tape Raw, and then if there was a pay-per-view, he used to tape that because it normally on about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'd fall asleep halfway fucking through it, watching it. And I had a fucking video cabinet full of blank tapes. I used to tape every Raw, every Sunday Night Heat on the same tape, and then pay-per-view. And I'd go through all of the tapes. I wouldn't tape over them until I got to the very end, and I had to go back to the beginning to start taping over them from now. I had them all. I taped every single one. I used to be such a fucking massive wrestler. I used to love it. Stone Cold, when it was Stone Cold, Steve Austin, and The Rock, and all of them guys, man. I used to fucking love it.
Yeah, Stone Cold is going to be there. He's going to be there, which is great. But I love it. We're doing a watch along on my Twitch channel for the Saturday one.
It's over 2 days, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't I don't understand it. Just have the best stuff all on one show. Don't pad out 2 shows. It's mental. But so I'll probably only do
over 2 shows now.
Yeah, now it's
2 days.
Saturday and Sunday.
It starts tomorrow and it finishes Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, they have a break though, don't they? They don't just go through the whole thing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. No, so
I think the last WrestleMania I watched, like proper, was when Ric Flair retired.
Yeah, probably mine.
No, that's a lie. I think it was when The Rock faced John Cena. I think that was the last time I actually watched one.
He done that twice, didn't he?
Yeah, it was. I think it was the first time though. It was the build up to it. I loved it.
Somebody's saying the Undertaker's been inducted into the Hall of Fame.
I see something. I see today. Didn't they do a statue for him that got unveiled today?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably
something like that. And
to be fair, I can't see how he ain't already in the fucking Hall of Fame. He should have been one of the first names in the Hall of Fame.
Because he's only just retired.
Yeah. I said he was on True Geordie's channel the other day.
Yeah, that was mad. That was
He's like their PR machine now. They just wheel him out to do anything. I've seen him on everything.
He's in it for someone. He hardly done no interviews for years. Now he's on everything.
That must have been the deal when he was a character, saying like, "Oh, you want to keep this fucking character up? You don't do any interviews. You wait till you retire, you cunt. We're going to put you on fucking everything."
He was doing. He even does them cameo things. You know where you can buy them to send you a video. It's like 800 quid.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny though because he does it in character. He's got to say the names, and he goes, "All elite Scooby Doo."
Yeah,
Is that what you call yourself? And you're like, wow, this is just killing my childhood right now.
Yeah.
But no, I do watch
that.
Shit, man, that can't be true.
What
is that true?
Here,
first time. It probably was, man. I ain't watched it for years.
10 years ago, since The Rock and John Cena.
Yeah, probably.
Nah.
2012. Yeah, it probably was, mate.
Nice. You got to check it the Saturday one to see Stone Cold coming back. That's going to be big. But yes, that's why I'll be watching.
I heard he's fighting, but what is he doing really?
No, he's coming to be on this talk show with Kevin Owens, but which is going to probably descend into a fight or a match.
Yeah, he's going to give him a stunner. And we all know how it's going to ring.
If it's just that, because Stone Cold's been training apparently. He's got a ring in his ass now. So it's got to be something proper. But so
he's got a ring in his ass.
He's got a ring in his ass. Yeah, working it out. But the thing is, to me, I know people get together and they watch the Super Bowl and have their little Super Bowl parties. You know, we get together with WrestleMania, we do our predictions and we do forfeits and all sorts.
We used to do WrestleMania parties, Dan. Nicky made a cake once.
That's true.
He made a cake and he put the corner post as Twixies and the ropes as strawberry laces.
Yeah, that is true. I made it.
He's sitting
I made a
there,
wrestling ring cake.
Yeah, I did. Flour and egg. Oh, it's WrestleMania. I got to make my cake.
Mate, he made a proper cake, and then Ben Jones wouldn't go home.
I made a proper wrestling ring cake, and I even got to the point where I got the pens, didn't I? Right, the food colouring pens, and I put all the details on a ring.
Dad, do you know what we done as well? You remember when Ric Flair retired?
Yeah.
My mate used to think he was Ric Flair, so we bought him a dressing gown and put peacock feathers on it and made him wear it while we watched it. Do you remember that? He took it home as well.
Yeah, he loved that.
So yeah, that's like the fun of it. Like you get to go to a big event, didn't you? But I never really, other than
I remember once when we was watching WrestleMania and it cut off just before it started. And Nicky's cousin Billy was on the phone to Virgin trying to get out. And it was about an hour and Nicky was going, "No, I'm going home. I've missed all the surprises." He had the right arm. He went, "I've missed all the surprises."
It is. There's always surprises, isn't there, in the first hour? There's always surprises, like someone come back or someone does anything.
But I was getting the up. I was going, "You ain't missed nothing."
Dan, Ryan and Nicky, have you ever been to a World Cup? Will you try and go this year? No. I've never been, and I'm not going this year.
Definitely ain't going this year. I'm hoping that, like, maybe I don't know who's got the World Cup after us, after Qatar. I don't know who's got it.
World Cup after USA, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, USA and Canada and Mexico, I think.
Further away.
No, I might go to that one. I fancy a little trip around the USA, but yeah, man. Easter is approaching, so how do you eat your cream eggs? Do you give them a right good nibble or deep licking out?
Yeah, I bite the top off and then lick it out.
That's what I do.
And then eat the shell. I don't fuck about.
Dan don't eat them. He's a vegan.
What's happened?
You're doing the accent. We can't.
I'm sorry, I'm on mute.
I thought he was showing us how he eats it. I didn't realise he was
that. No, I just bite it. I just eat it like a normal chocolate bar. When I used to eat it, if you eat a Twix,
you don't eat cream eggs.
No, I used to. I used to have cream eggs. I think you can get vegan cream eggs, but you can get them. But yeah, very sugary, very sweet. Them things, man.
They are. They are a bit much. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of them, to be honest with you.
Good energy boost before football.
No, I'm not a massive fan of them. I prefer the little caramel eggs. The Cadbury's caramel ones.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
I think that's it.
Wow. France '98. Eltel went to. Oh, what a one to.
Matt Powell says, "Hi, Nicky. I'm signing up to Patreon tomorrow. Will you tell the Poland story on Hammer It Out next episode?" Nah, no one wants to fucking hear that. It'd be fucking. We got to get home.
But you know what you should do? Try and work on an abridged version. Try and refine it a bit. Chop some bits
No, I'm not.
out.
What? I've told the story. It's available on one of these fucking from time ago. There's no point in telling the same story twice.
That could be your like football players. They go around the after dinner, so do the shows. That could be you. People just pay you to tell this story. People, I don't know if people want it. I'll never forget when I had to go away for a while and I came back and I was just like, he's still telling it.
It's long,
Mate,
isn't
the
it?
amount of times I've heard that story, it's when you get to that point where you just got to pretend you've never heard it before, and you do the reactions like, "Oh, really? Yeah." You know what's coming. Oh, fuck it.
Oh, Matt Powell said he can't find it. I don't know.
You'll find it's somewhere. I don't know.
I'm sure Nicky will do it again. One point.
Yeah, I might.
Maybe you should
It
do
would've
like a
been last
Patreon
season,
only.
wouldn't
Like,
Put a voice note. Put a voice note on Patreon. All right. Do you know what I've been thinking about doing? Like little mini series for the Patreon as well, like telling little mini stories about sort of the years doing the channel and things like that. So maybe I'll put them in one of them.
Story time with Nicky.
Yeah, like little tiny mini stories about things that we know and like a bit of inside information and stories about doing the channel. So do little mini ones. You can go back to it. Ryan, does the Poland story change every time you hear it?
oh, fucking yeah, it gets dramatic every time. It gets more dramatic each time. Sometimes I just zone out, and then Nicky will ask me a question. I go, "Oh yeah, Cobra."
I swear down. I know
Nicky's
none
never
of these
been
boys were
Poland.
there. It was just I was with another bunch of my pals. But everything I'll tell you is the complete fucking truth, and you can ask any one of them boys, and they'll tell you exactly the same story.
Of course, someone's just said there. I know they're a little bit behind, but they might be watching. They prefer a walnut whip. I had a walnut whip for years.
They sell them up
Remember
there. M&S, yeah, they do. They sell them up there in Marks and Spencer's up there. I don't
Mate,
mind.
I ain't even seen a walnut. They was in a little blue packet, weren't they?
Yeah, they still get them.
Now, what I used to always do, take the walnut off the top, bite the top off, put the walnut inside the whip, and eat it like that. I don't know if anyone else used to eat it like that. But
I can't even remember. They still do Fisherman's Friends.
Yeah, they do. They do them still.
Fisherman's Friends. Fucking hell. That was one of them sweets that you never bought. And you tried it once because you just to figure out what they were, and you realised they were like cough sweets.
yeah,
I used to love the Time Out bar.
yeah,
Time Outs were brilliant, man.
Drifters, remember drifters?
Yeah, drifters were nice.
Yeah, Boost.
But there we go.
I used to love a picnic
Yeah, picnic.
They still do them, I think.
or a tropic.
There's some chocolate bars that never
Tropic,
die.
Tropic.
A Lion will never die. A Topic will never die. A Picnic will never die.
Kit Kat
Mars,
forever.
Snickers, Twix, and all of them. Kit Kat.
You know what's an underrated chocolate bar and it don't get spoken about enough? You know the club bars, but the gold ones.
Yeah.
They're the nuts, mate. They are the nuts. But I'm not really I prefer sweets than chocolate. I don't mind chocolate, but I love me Haribo's and shit.
Nah, I love chocolate.
Yeah, I do love chocolate, but I just like if I had a choice between a chocolate bar or Tangtastics, I'd have the Tangtastics all day long.
Blue
Nicky's
ribbon.
froze.
What?
No, you froze for a sec.
Nicky's trying to eat a walnut whip without us seeing it.
You know what? I eat a walnut whip the same way I eat every fucking walnut whip. I just go like that.
Yeah, man.
And the whole lot goes in.
Whisper Gold. Cool. I ain't seen one of them for ages either.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on that note,
Double decker, yeah.
What's it? Is Nicky
He's
froze?
froze again.
No, sorry, Chloe's in trouble. I've got to go. Right.
Right. Yeah. Well, nice. So, well, okay. I just,
What? Yeah, I should have started singing and dancing just to break the awkwardness. What's Nicky fell asleep?
it was just like, all right.
Oh,
No,
fucking
sorry. I just got a bit distracted there for a second.
No, go on, mate. End the show because I'm dying for I've done 3 bottles of beer here. I'm dying for
The Chinese has just turned up.
No worries at all. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Friday Night Pint. Thank you so much for all your questions. If you want to go and listen to the Patreon, the podcast, they're available on a Patreon. If you want to go and see them, there'll be a new one this Wednesday. Listen, if you want to subscribe to this, if you're new around here, do that. We've got a preview coming up tomorrow, I believe, for the Everton game, but that'll be me. Scott hasn't done one this week. It'll be me doing that. So fucking good luck with that. And obviously we'll have all the content coming up for Everton. So yeah. Anything else left to say, boys?
Just one thing.
Yeah, one thing.
One thing left to say.
Come on,
you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.